Now on CoastTV News.
President Biden en route to Rehoboth Beach after issuing a new executive action to protect thousands of immigrants. A DelDOT social media post going viral, the agency looking for who made this mess. Pony swim progress, what stands out about this year's upcoming swim. A virtual watchtower to protect this beach, the new digital tool in one beach patrol's arsenal.
As we brace for higher humidity on the horizon, be ready to feel the heat index in the 100s this weekend.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
With just a few days left on the 2024 legislative calendar, lawmakers are sending bills to the governor's desk. Good evening. I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with lawmakers' latest attempt to protect health care services for women and infants in Delaware. New at 11, 4 bills are heading to Governor Carney's desk after the Delaware Senate passed them today. House Bill 374 helps protect Delawareans' access to assisted reproductive health treatments like in vitro fertilization. House Bill 345 enhances access to doula services. House Bill 274 requires all health insurance plans to cover the cost of peanut and egg allergen supplements. House Bill 313 codifies the annual or biennial mammograms to female inmates. New at 11, a new budget has the stamp of approval from Sussex County Council. It's from the 2025 fiscal year, which starts July 1st. The council voted to approve the proposed $265.8 million budget today. Property taxes remain unchanged. Annual sewer fees will increase by $10 with an additional $15 for unmetered water. The budget will include $52.5 million for wastewater infrastructure and $6.4 million to preserve open space and farmland. But that's not all. We have an in-depth budget breakdown on CoastTV.com. New at 11, the Seaford School District is investing further in school safety. The district says it is buying 4 more weapons detection systems. That means starting next school year, 4 of these systems will be used every day at Seaford High School, and 2 systems will be used as needed at the other schools in the district. The district says moving forward, students in grades 6 through 12 will be required to use clear backpacks, shoulder bags, or drawstring bags. New at 11, drivers on Savannah Road aren't seeing red in beach traffic. They're seeing blue, and DelDOT is using the image of popular children's show character Bluey to paint a picture of the scene. The agency says someone spilled a steady stream of blue paint on about half a mile of the Lewis roadway this morning. The paint was found after 7 a.m. and also covered a number of cars. Delaware State Police is investigating. New at 11, a virtual watchtower is helping Bethany Beach Patrol keep people safe on the sand and in the surf. The lifeguards will use the webpage Safe Beach Day to show where their stands are located and to offer surf conditions, storm activity, and any safety concerns. The data comes from Watchtower and sources like NOAA. And now let's take a live look outside into Lewis. We're checking on your weather tonight. As you know, it's been pretty hot this week, so let's see what our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has for us tonight. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Mallory. And you know, the irony of what Mallory is saying is that, yeah, it was indeed legitimately hot. And we're just getting started. So our Irish Eyes camera in Lewis, we're holding at 72 degrees. Relatively mild right now. We're not mild in the middle of the night, but in the middle of the afternoon, yeah. We're not hot, in the middle of the night, but we will be hot by tomorrow afternoon is what I meant to say. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. 69 degrees by 2 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. We're holding in the 70s, lower 70s throughout most of the Delmarva Peninsula, pretty steadily now. But we had a high today of 88 degrees, which was 4 above the norm. But when we start creeping up into these 80s and 90s, we have to start being mindful of the possibility of the heat index climbing into the triple-digit category. Now, take a look at our expectation for tomorrow. We're not worried about any rain, but that heat, well, now that's going to be a real concern, Mallory.
Paul will check back in a bit. After a couple of tense hours, a police standoff outside of a Salisbury home was safely resolved. The The Wicomico County Sheriff tells us the barricade situation on Cedar Crossing in Salisbury started around 4 a.m. They say it all started when a woman was found suffering from a knife wound to the head. From our coast copter, deputies were seen breaching the door and throwing something inside. At one point, a person inside the home was seen cutting through a window screen with a knife and waving it around. Deputies also threw tear gas. After several hours of negotiating, the sheriff says that things were safely resolved around 2 this afternoon. They say the suspect was taken to the hospital with self-inflicted knife wounds following this barricade situation.
I'm Madeline Overturf, and here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. Cambridge has $1.7 million right now to help stop flooding. And that's just phase 1 of a FEMA grant to improve the shoreline along the Choptank River. The pony swim in Chincoteague, it's going to happen around noon and 1 on July 24th. Maybe you already know this, but that's a little bit different. According to Saltwater Cowboys, that's the timing, and usually, as we know, the ponies hit the channel early in the morning, though it all depends on slack tide. A Caroline County bridge is under repair. This is over Mill Creek on Harmony Road. There will be 8 weeks of closures and work. That's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Madeline Overturf.
The Ocean City Council officially restricted commercial houseboats in their town. The company Sea Rocket, who's known for boat rides and parasailing, was looking to add a houseboat for people to rent in Ocean City. But with this houseboat ban now passed, Sea Rocket may have to tread lightly if they're still planning on renting the houseboat out. In the past, the CEO of Sea Rocket told CoastTV he plans on taking Ocean City to court. He said he believes the council has no say on what is or isn't allowed in these waters. We spoke with some folks who want to see these houseboats stay.
The water should be free and, for everybody to just enjoy without more clutter.
With Ocean City officially banning these houseboats in town, there's still no word on if Sea Rocket is going to move this houseboat or take legal action. New tonight, Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long is responding to an accusation from her fellow gubernatorial candidate, Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer, who says she was lying about her campaign accounting. This comes after Hall Long's campaign reported to have accepted donations that exceed the amount that's allowed by Delaware campaign law. Hall Long now saying in part, quote, donations over the limit happen in many major federal and statewide campaigns across the country where they refund their donors. And, quote, my opponents are playing politics because they are desperate. Unlike others in this race, my campaign will continue to focus on what is best for Delaware, unquote. Hall Long's campaign finance history has been heavily scrutinized over the past year. We have a more detailed breakdown of that on CoastTV.com. New tonight from the White House, the President and First Lady are now traveling aboard Marine One en route to Gordon's Pond landing zone. According to the White House, the President will make his way to his North Shores home and stay there until Thursday. The FAA is putting in a temporary flight restriction for the coast at 10 p.m. It will last until 9 p.m. on Thursday. But earlier today, President Biden unveiled a new executive action that shields approximately 500,000 immigrants from deportation. It's aimed at Americans whose spouses or children may be non-citizens. The administration says the move will help keep families together. The president's announcement comes in an election year where he is working to court Latino voters. But as NBC's Bree Jackson explains, Republicans are ripping the move as mass amnesty.
President Biden unveiling his latest executive actions on immigration, which includes protecting undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation.
Allow them to work while they remain with their families in the United States. Let's be clear, this action still requires undocumented spouses to file all required legal paperwork to remain in the United States. It requires them to pass a criminal background checks.
Those impacted call the president's decision life-changing.
An action like this has been way overdue.
The White House says the move would shield nearly 500,000 immigrants. They must be legally married before today and have had to have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years. While advocates praise the move, some I spoke with also raise concerns.
So this program, certainly will be in place through the end of the year, but whether it can survive into next year depends on the election.
Republicans accuse the president of playing election year politics.
Well, he's obviously trying to walk a line between his progressive left that wants open borders and the electorate, which is very fed up with it.
President Biden agrees more needs to be done to address the immigration system and urged Congress to pass bipartisan legislation. Republicans torpedoed previous efforts.
I did what Republicans in Congress refused to do. I took action to secure our border.
New hope for undocumented migrants in a decades-old political fight. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
We went to La Esperanza, a nonprofit that has helped immigrants for 30 years in Georgetown. The group says while executive orders can be fickle, they're grateful for any help in their mission, and this will make a big difference.
It's allowing people who have been here for many years, who have a way to become permanent residents and eventually citizens. It's cutting some of those barriers down.
Garcia says this is a step towards helping families whose parents have different immigration statuses. And that brings us to our Coast TV poll. Do you support Biden's action shielding 500,000 immigrant spouses from deportation? Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour on your screen. It's been fluctuating back and forth all night long. Now we have 52% saying yes, 48% saying no. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or our mobile app. Well, we're just getting started tonight on Coast TV News at 11. A proposed parking solution in one of our beach towns, the critical spaces that could be added. And temperatures soaring to dangerous levels. How to stay safe in the extreme heat and protect vulnerable loved ones.
And it looks like the heat's going to be soaring in the Bay Area as well as we go Wednesday to 86, Thursday to 88, and then up to 91 on Friday in Cambridge. And we're going to clip into the low going up to the upper to mid to upper 80s in Crisfield as well. Your full forecast, and believe it or not, we're expecting the heat index to climb to 103.
Let's make your outdoor living space more fun at Johnny Janasik's July 4th Outdoor Furniture Sale. Get $100 off your purchase of $9.99 or more, plus 0% APR till 2027. Going on now at Johnny Janasik.
Stanley Steamer is proud to be the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses across America every year, using powerful equipment custom built by us. We'll remove the buildup of dirt, dust, allergens, grime, and contaminants seen and unseen from your home and business. America's professional deep cleaner for over 75 years. It's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Don't miss Johnny Janasik's pre-Independence Day sale. Add a little sparkle to your home with Delaware's guaranteed lowest prices, plus an extra $100 off and 0% APR till 2027. The savings start early at Johnny Janasik.
We're looking forward to get warmer tomorrow and then become hot over the weekend and possibly teeter on that area where it's possibly dangerous to stay outside for an extended period of time without taking precautions. We'll talk about that in more detail in just a moment. Irish Eyes camera, temperatures dropping to 69 by 2 o'clock in the morning, partly cloudy skies. We're in the low 70s at this present time, still mainly staying clear, mainly staying quiet as we prepare for the inevitability of the really sweltering conditions by this weekend. Today we warmed to 88. The average high is about 84, so we're only 4 degrees above that, nowhere near the record of 97. But as you take a look at the day part forecast, you'll notice we have the winds primarily coming out of the south and the southeast. So that's going to add a little more in the mix of moisture and heat in our area. Had a high of 88 degrees, not only in Georgetown, Easton, Cambridge, as well as Salisbury. Our tidal health camera in Seaford holding at about 72 degrees with the winds out of the north and calm right now. Anticipating slipping into the 60s, about 66 degrees. by the time we get to, let's say, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we began to examine. See, when we started off at 88 degrees for today, it lets us know that we're already starting before summer actually officially kicks off. We're already starting well above the norm for this time of the year. An excess heat watch is in effect for Newcastle. That's the most northern county for us in Delaware. Although it's not us, we're in the general vicinity of crazy heat because the Northeast is dealing with an overall heat advisory that's in effect for most areas. And where you see the pink, that's where you see areas where we have an actual heat warning. Our melting forecast, yeah, it's just that warm. Our melting forecast, listen, you better eat that ice cream fast because it's really going to start warming up, especially if you're going to be going out for ice cream Friday, Saturday, and especially on Sunday. The air quality's gotten a little bit better for the Delmarva Peninsula, except the most extreme northern portion of the area. So we're doing okay for right now. We're going to keep a monitoring eye on that. Temps staying in the 70s for right now. And we feel like that the heat index is the same temperature for us throughout the late night hours. But look at these dew point temperatures in the 60s and even 70 for us in Georgetown. That's a tremendous amount of moisture content in the atmosphere for us. So we're looking at, so far our past, we haven't had much in the way of heat, but it's about to crank up for us. In fact, let's skip to the big deal is by Sunday, we're looking at 103 for the heat index in many areas. That's crazy warm. 63 for tonight, 86 for tomorrow, 88 for Thursday. Notice how everything keeps going up. It's like a really bad game show. The price keeps going up. Finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling Extended Forecast.
We all know how hot it is, and soon it will feel like 100 degrees, which can be dangerous to many, and I'm not just talking about people. Keeping yourself safe during the high temperatures is just as important as keeping your pets safe. The BVSPCA says the #1 thing to do for your dog is to keep them inside during a heat wave. The SPCA says you still need to walk your dog, of course, but with certain precautions.
We don't need long walks this time of year. We definitely don't want our dogs touching the asphalt. If you do have to leash walk your dog because you don't have a fenced yard, you walk on the asphalt because you've got shoes on. Make sure your dog is on the grass part because the asphalt can actually burn their feet.
By the way, the Brandywine Valley SPCA says adoption fees are reduced to $35 through the weekend for large adult dogs and cats. Well, advocacy groups are calling for FEMA to include wildfire smoke and extreme heat as major disasters. Nearly 36 labor unions and other groups sent a 77-page petition to the agency this week. They say an amendment to the Stafford Act would unlock federal emergency management funds for areas that are facing extreme heat and wildfire smoke. This comes as 17 uncontained wildfires are spreading through numerous states in the West. Cancellation concerns, the lawsuit Adobe is now facing, and why you've got to hear this if you use these programs. Plus, making parking more available in Bethany Beach, the town's new plan to add more spaces just in time for summer.
Feeling the summer sizzle? Is it turning your home into a sauna? At FH Fur, we know you can't wait when your AC is down for the count. That's why we're offering same-day service, guaranteed. If we don't make it to you the very same day, you will pay a diagnostic or dispatch fee, plain and simple. So whether your AC is blowing hot air, your thermostat is on the fritz, or your entire system needs replacing, an FH Fur expert technician will bring your comfort back today.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
Kickstart your summer with Gateway Subaru, where they have more in-stock Subaru inventory to choose from than other dealers have combined. Get ready for adventure with a 2024 Subaru Outback or Subaru Forester with financing as low as 0.9%. Need more space? Go big with the 2024 Subaru Ascent with financing as low as 2.9%. Electrify your journey in a new 2024 Subaru Solterra with financing as low as 0%. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards. When it comes to protecting your home, don't take chances with just anyone. Trust the experts at Spicer Brothers. Join thousands of satisfied customers who've chosen us for our exceptional service, quality installation, and unbeatable warranties. Whether you need a roof replacement or just want to upgrade the look of your home, we've got you covered. And right now, save up to 20% on your new roof, plus enjoy no interest and no payments until 2026. For a roof that's done right, trust Spicer Brothers day and night. because you deserve the best.
Oh, they're out there by the millions. And spiders, crickets, and ants are always looking for a place to call home. Look, up ahead is your home. And to them, it looks like the perfect place to settle in. Call Brazier's, and our expert technicians will establish a defensive barrier around your home that will keep out the riffraff. Our premium protection plan is guaranteed to keep spiders, crickets, and ants from moving into your home for a full year. Call Brazier's Pest Control today and say goodbye to unwanted guests.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app today. This is Coast TV News at 11.
Finding parking when you're visiting the beach can be tricky. On that note, this Friday, Bethany Beach Town Council will be looking into possibly installing a seasonal overflow parking lot. According to the town's agenda, officials will be talking about putting a seasonal lot right there on the Bethany Beach Christian Church property. If approved, the lot could be near the playground and basketball courts on North Pennsylvania Avenue. The Justice Department and Federal Trade Commission filed a lawsuit against Adobe this week. It claims the company made it difficult for customers to cancel subscriptions to products like Photoshop and Illustrator. Prosecutors say Adobe hid details of cancellation fees in fine print and behind optional text boxes and hyperlinks. Adobe claims its subscription terms are transparent and the cancellation process is simple. The suit comes at a time when the FTC is hoping to pass click-to-cancel rules that force companies to offer an easy way to stop paying for a product. The shooter in the Colorado Club Q tragedy pleaded guilty to federal hate crime charges today. 5 people were killed and dozens more injured during the deadly 2022 shooting at the LGBTQ+ nightclub. Anderson Aldrich was sentenced to life in prison last June after pleading guilty to the state charges of murder. For today's proceeding, the shooter entered the guilty pleas under a deal with prosecutors to avoid the death penalty. Instead, they'll be sentenced to multiple more life sentences for the hate crimes, plus a total of 190 years on other counts. Singer Justin Timberlake was arraigned today on account of driving while intoxicated in Long Island. Sag Harbor Village police say he was leaving in his lane and ran a stop sign. Today, Timberlake was released on his own recognizance, and his next court date was set in July. Timberlake is scheduled to perform in Chicago at the United Center on Friday. Coming up in sports, Summer League field hockey action in Worcester County. Plus, the Olympics heating up literally. Paris has gotten nearly 6 degrees hotter in midsummer than when it first hosted the games in 1924. The risks outlined in a new report.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. Listen, it's going to be excellent conditions, but also very warm, so extra water is required.
Your Ford dealer presents Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. The rugged, renowned F-150 truck with best-in-class maximum available towing and payload. Want more? Visit your local Ford dealer. Right now, first responders, veterans, and active and retired military personnel get $1,000 exclusive cash. But hurry, offer ends soon.
Hi, I'm Sussex County farmer Blaine Hitchens, and I plant cover crops to improve my soil health. Cover crops help with nutrient cycling, weed suppression, and also reducing our input costs. I'm also improving water quality and my soils are more productive, increasing my yield and bottom line. Healthy soils produce healthy crops. Cost share signups are going on now. To take advantage of the financial assistance, stop by the Conservation District to enroll in the Cover Crop Cost Share program because every acre counts.
Give your backyard a cozy enhancement with patio systems in Lewis, Delaware. Integrity is the pillar of our craft, with quality craftsmanship to transform your yard or deck into a custom oasis, providing you comfort all year round. Take control of the elements with the Shore's best selection of pergolas, retractable awnings, screen and glass enclosures, and a wide selection of modern decking and railing systems personalized your way. For exceptional workmanship at reasonable prices, contact Patio Systems, your backyard living specialist. Locally owned and operated since 2001.
When you're close to the land and the sea, you can taste the goodness. The historic Lewis Farmers Market brings farms closer to tables. Meet the growers, talk to the people that milk the cows, and pick the perfect peaches. Organically grown fruits and vegetables, sustainable meats and eggs, A2 dairy products, artisan breads, and fresh local seafood.
The historic Lewis Farmers Market is in the park every Saturday from 8 to noon and at Crooked Hammock Brewery every Wednesday from 8 to 11:30 a.m.
The most incredible shopping on the beach, Blooming Boutique. Fashion, jewelry, and accessories as cool as an ocean breeze. You'll love this place. We put a smile on your face. You'll love this place. It's Blooming Boutique. Fashion, jewelry, accessories, and fun. Blooming Boutique.
Visit Blooming Boutique with 4 convenient locations, 2 in downtown Lewis, Long Neck, and Milford.
A new report raises concerns about continuing to hold the Summer Olympics in the summer. A string of heat waves in recent years have killed thousands across France during the same time of year. National climate reporter Chase Kane digs into the report and Paris's plans to combat dangerous heat.
During the Tokyo Olympics, the dangerous combination of heat and humidity made it feel at times like 116 degrees, the hottest Olympics on record. I struggled to stay cool while just sitting in the skateboarding arena, so maybe no surprise that according to a report from Japanese doctors, at least 131 athletes needed medical treatment during the Tokyo Games because of heat.
It's in an athlete's DNA to push themselves to the absolute limits. You know, when we're talking about Olympic Games, the reason you're there is because you push your body to those limits. Within safe conditions, that's one thing, but when things get unsafe, yeah, it becomes pretty dangerous.
This Scottish rugby player is one of a dozen Olympians sounding the alarm in advance of the Games, and just last summer, heat waves across France killed 5,000 people. Another in 2003 killed at least 14,000, and that's the main concern highlighted in this report.
I guess I still am just surprised of the timing of these Olympics. I mean, we have seen such deadly heat waves in this exact location at this exact time. Athletes are by far the most at risk here, but also people who are attending, people who are working, people who are outside.
I think in a lot of places in the US and around the world, just summertime competitions, unless they're held in the middle of the night, are going to become essentially impossible.
The International Olympic Committee says the health of athletes is a top concern, and Paris 2024 says they will have free water stations across every venue, and they'll also consider shifting the time of outdoor competition if temperatures top 90 degrees.
To the specific context of climate change.
Something Paris's deputy mayor says they've been working for years to limit as climate change makes Paris increasingly hot.
7 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 Celsius is a big deal if you're in the middle of a heat wave. That's a big difference in temperature.
Yes, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous for the daily life, and so we need to transform the city as fast as possible to protect people and to make the city more sustainable for the future generations.
And that's why they've invested billions in planting trees to cool the city, adding bike lanes to cut emissions, and working to clean up the polluted Seine River. Positive steps to host the Olympics and permanent benefits for 2 million Parisians. But one sustainability decision has gotten a lukewarm reception. The Athletes' Village will rely on carbon-free geothermal district cooling instead of traditional air conditioning, similar to what's used in parts of downtown Chicago and New York.
Just to put a button on this, there's not a limit in terms of outside heat or humidity where this stops working.
Well,
or is there?
Like all of us, equipment prefers not so hot and not so humid. I mean, we never know what Mother Nature's going to throw at us, right? I mean, it could be a heat dome that could be, very challenging.
Paris 2024 officials say it will keep indoor temperatures at least 11 degrees cooler, but they'll still make individual AC available on request.
Which in one way reduces the emission for the games, but on the other side, for an athlete, that is, they cannot stay cool and cannot recover fast. So I think from an athlete's perspective, that is a negative.
And that tension underscores the urgency of addressing climate change, along with Paris 2024's efforts to cut their carbon footprint. In Paris, I'm National Climate Reporter Chase Kane.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Sad news tonight. San Francisco Giants legend and Hall of Famer Willie Mays has died at the age of 93. In his 22-year career, the sports icon hit 660 home runs, made 24 All-Star appearances, won 12 Gold Gloves, and earned 2 NL MVP awards. He was known for his speed and legendary catches in center field, along with his power at the plate. Now to our top matchup on Delmarva tonight. High school field hockey teams preparing for the fall with summer league matchups. Starting with beach hockey from Decatur, taking on the Knights from Sussex Central at Northern Worcester Athletic Complex. 1-0 beach hockey in the second quarter. Decatur's own looking to put another on the board with the feed and a flick on Cage, but it's deflected away by Elizabeth Hicks, the sophomore, making her presence known before this season begins. Then a corner for beach hockey. The initial shot not going where it needs to go, but the beach girls cross it in front of the cage, and Skylar Price puts it away for their second goal of the game. Beach hockey able to keep the ball on the Knights side of the field for almost the whole first half as we enter the second. Back on the other side, another corner for the girls in blue. Beach hockey taking a shot from the top of the circle, and Avari Schaaf deflects it past the goalie. 3-0 beach hockey. Finally, to end this contest, how about a little more love for Hicks in the cage, the sophomore, getting the stop right here yet again, and the Knights are able to clear it out. But in the end, beach hockey prevails 3-0 over the Knights. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Somewhere to smile about.
On Coast Life, we get ready for the Pit Crew Summer Showcase. A fun-filled day with touch-a-truck, bouncy houses, mouth-watering barbecue, and more. Plus, highlights from the Swan Song book signing event. Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
When I decided to have my kitchen done, I knew I wanted it done professionally, and that's when I contacted Ellen. She took me to the Delmarva Design Center.
From the moment I bring a customer into Delmarva Design Center, the ideas start to flow. First thing we do is take a stroll around the showroom so we can look at all the different vignettes to get ideas of what they like and see what they react to.
For each of the different aspects that I wanted to change in my kitchen, there were experts here, and everyone was so helpful. They listened to what I had to say, and they had great ideas that helped me put together exactly what I wanted for my kitchen.
My goal is to have the customer enjoy their space as quickly as possible, and Delmarva Design Center helps me do that.
My kitchen is one of my favorite places now. It's something that I use every single day of my life. I'm elated with my experience at the Delmarva Design Center.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care, women's health services, to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
On the next Cameron Hawk, the Freaknik documentary has arrived. Executive producer Luther Campbell, a.k.a. Uncle Luke, and Little John joined the Tam Fam Plus. Joe Manganiello is here, and it is safe to say the audience was ready for him. Next Cameron Hawk.
Wednesday at 3 on CoastTV.
A day of festive celebration is coming to the state capitol this weekend. A free annual African American festival will take place on the Legislative Mall. It's called Positively Dover. Organizers say there will be a variety of music, entertainment, vendors, food, and interactive fun. Lawn chairs are welcome to kick back and relax while enjoying these festivities. It's all happening this Saturday from 11 to 6:30.
Sounds like a whole lot of fun. Our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury coming at 70 degrees will drop to 65 with a few scattered clouds by 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, our umbrella giveaway winner is actually Jay White of Dagsboro. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Now, we have excessive heat warnings, watches, and advisories throughout the entire Northeast. We're in the general neighborhood, so let's watch out for the heat for us as well. Our 5-day UV index is going to stay at a level of 9, then dropping to 8 by Sunday. But that's pretty much dangerous anyway. And here's a look at our weather line, sponsored by Baird, Mandalas, Brockstead, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.